got some things on my mind. This weekend is pretty much faded away. It's back to the the work grind, and you know, one of the reasons why it's called work is actually war. Business is war. Uh, Business is like the Borg. I've said that over and over again. Even if you're anti-business in a sense where you don't want to do anything besides work, you're pretty much an employee. That's what you are. You try to be a good employee. You're still in business. You work for a business. Okay. So I say that business is like the Borg. You you're either in it or out of it. And if you're out of it, you either rich or you collect some type of government subsidy, or you're homeless, living on the street, or camping out in the woods, trying to survive on Mother Nature. I mean, you're roughing it basically. So either way, most people, they go to work, which is I call it. I mean, basically, if you break it down etymology wise, or just break it down as far as words, it's work. You're going to work. War. Take the K out and just you're going to war. See, that's why. That's see. Clarity is very good, man. Clarity is a superpower. If you know what's going on, I mean, you could pretend. You obviously could pretend you go to work and you put on your acting mask, and if depending on how good of an actor you are, you can pull it off. And occasionally, I'll say over the course of a day or a week, I come up with some pretty good ideas as far as my own businesses, and different plans of things that I want to do. Like I'll give you guys a snippet about what I want to do, and what you probably don't understand what's going on with Tubi. Now Tubi is absolutely blowing the fuck up. The fuck up. Tubi, those little like movies and stuff that's like cheapy deepy movies. Like a lot of people are watching Tubi because one is free. I think all you got to do is watch commercials. The commercials, those ads cost a lot of money, and the companies are paying it. So Tubi, I think they said it made $50 billion last year. I mean, $50 billion. Now I don't know as far as what they pay the independent filmmakers or the filmmakers or whatever to get you, I guess, sell their content, or however they got that set up. I don't know the details of that, but I was thinking, like, they have these, like, video cameras. You might even be able to get one used that's like very high quality. And if you could come up with like some actors, some local actors or something like that, or if you have some little small budget that you can assemble, you could probably make a fairly decent movie. Maybe go take some, you probably could, find somebody that's a director that's up and coming, or maybe somebody fresh out of film school or something, to kind of help you navigate things. You might be able to reach out to some filmmakers that already have made a movie or two, or had some projects, to give you some consultant ideas or whatever, to consult with you on what to do. So it's like that's something I thought about years ago, but I'm not gonna lie, like it's like it's probably, I would say, and I've heard this before. It's easier to make make movies now than it was decades prior, where you had to buy film. You had to actually purchase some type of film, and then you had to, 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 film, and then you had to in order to make a movie, and the film was very, very expensive, and you had to produce this like, you know, film basically, which was like just those like exposure. I forgot what they called them. Like they just basically plastic film with the actual video on it, and you had to like put water on it. You had to actually go in a black room or some red room with red lights. I don't know, and produce this film. Get it produced, pay somebody to produce it. I mean, it was like, it's a lot of stuff people had to do to make like movies and stuff. Where now camcorders have, you know, SSD drives or whatever, flash drives, 100 gigs, 60 gigs, which, if you don't know the technical term of 1 gig is enough to put about what I think like about 10 movies or more on 1 gig. I mean, or no, a gigabyte hard drive, or no, I meant terabyte. Sorry, brain farts. 1 terabyte is like equivalent of like I think like 100 movies. You could put like 100 movies on a terabyte hard drive. So you get like a camcorder, modern camcorder with 1 terabyte of hard drive space. You could film, you could basically whatever you want, documentary, full feature movie that's like 3 hours. Um, definitely a short movie that's like an hour or less. It's like you gotta know how to do it. But yeah, I'll be thinking of stuff like that, man. It's like I think all kind of ways, man. Of course, certain things I got to do with my business. I have to write it down and try to find some stuff to do. But yeah, I mean, you know, I just I'm not clueless enough to know that I know it's people that work a job, and that's all they do. They don't have no business on the side or anything like that. They just work a job, and it's it's a and I think people do it because they they don't look at it like, okay, they're still in business. Your job, actually, if you go work for one of the things I find is that, like, if you work in corporate America, what's going on, Alonzo? If you work in corporate America, actually corporate America, that I look at that as it's like elite. It's like elite school. It's like really corporate America is like, if you really pay attention, is teaching you how to be elite. Okay, how to be kind of like, yeah, basically elite. I mean, how to communicate through email professionally, how to draft up an email, how to meet with people, you know, in various hierarchies in the company, from executives, directors, whatever. You communicate depending on the company you've worked for. Like I've worked with CEOs. Like I literally, they needed some assistance. I worked for a small company at one time, or medium sized company, and I worked at the headquarters. Chicago has a lot of headquarters. Like a lot of companies, they have their headquarters here. So um, I've worked with directly the CEO. Like, go walk in the office, take care of whatever they got to take care of, and I've done. I've been around CEOs of all types. I mean, directors, whatever. Every from the highest to the lowest, I've been working with different people in a corporate environment. Um, it's like, basically, I don't treat people different though. some people, they treat people, they put people in boxes as far as how they talk to people and how they communicate with people and stuff like that, and their level of importance. And I don't do that because one, it to me it's kind of like you being you one, you being not you being phony. And then another thing is like, who does that? Like, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, just, this person, I'm gonna treat this person this way. This motherfucker over here, he ain't shit. So I'm gonna talk to him like he ain't shit. And then this other motherfucker over here, it's like that shit, man. Be honest, like I know people like my ex, like I'll just say certain women I dealt with, they act like that, and they completely insane. I mean, like literally, like need to go to a therapist as soon as possible and sit down and start talking and like come back next week for like for years to work through some shit crazy. And it's like, yeah, like, you know, talk to people like they ain't shit and stuff like that, get into arguments with people. That's how you get up, you can get into some lot of problems acting like that. But yeah, it's elite training, man. It's like it's literally it's elite school. Like you learn how to deal with that. It took me a while to learn how to deal with different environments. Like I work for AT&T. Um, who else I work for? I worked for HP. I mean, like I don't really talk a lot about, man. And I don't really tell people. I'm not gonna say I like telling people where I used to work, even and all of that, because I don't want people to be talking. There's some motherfuckers that's listening to you. They taking notes. They trying to, it's like grandma. I be listening to Grandmaster Troll sometimes. Like that motherfucker be taking notes and shit. Like he be doing research on motherfuckers and shit. It's like, god damn, motherfucker just, what I'm saying, listening to you to try to, you know, compile information and shit. But it's all good. I don't give I give two fucks. The older you get, the less you give a fuck. I promise you that. And I know you probably heard that. At least, I mean, I ain't gonna say everybody, but I'll say it consensus. Like, pretty much, I don't give no fucks about. Like, I'm be honest. Like, I look up my title or my name, and I see who's talking or whatever, and nobody's talking about me. And it's kind of like, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm kind of jealous. Like I want somebody to fucking make a beef video just talking about how I ain't shit. Like this, I don't know. Like I guess kind of being low key and whatever. It's like ain't nobody really, what I'm saying, talking shit. Cause I mean, to be honest, like a lot of time the people, and I said this again, I did a video about YouTube, the business of YouTube. Most people don't really pay attention to you unless you're getting compensation. Like they see you getting donations, they see your super chat, you're monetized. And then I went in on that and everything on that video. Um, this is a very good video, a lot of information but the thing is that when you don't like people start coming at you when you start making money. Um, like from your channel and all of that, or if you already got money. Like if you going live in a mansion or whatever, and they know, and you just go out and check your garage and shit, and you got all these cars and shit. Then they might, yeah. And then you talking about stuff, and I mean, then yeah, people, they gonna say some shit. But you don't have a channel, you not monetized, you like, like I said, like you kind of like a hobby YouTuber, you do what you do. Now don't get me wrong, I do make money from this channel though. Don't get it twisted. Like I have everything linked up pretty much like a funnel, and I do make money in different areas. So I don't necessarily know who I like. I might not directly know who I make money off of, but a lot of my blog is got AdSense on it. I don't like make a whole bunch of money, and then I got like different links and stuff. So I don't necessarily know directly who I'm making money off of, but my my different websites and stuff I do make money off of. And it is people that have clicked like on my blog or whatever and and purchase something. I might not know. I mean, like who they did, like they, might have been somebody random or whatever. But I know is for directly, I do know that it is sales that I get, and it has something to do with my YouTube, my website, stuff like that. So I do make some money as far as it all kind of goes back into like a funnel. But I don't make anything off of this channel as far as like I make, you know, anything that people see. I mean, it's not like, what I'm saying, it's not like that, but when you do get like stuff like that, then people do hate on you. I don't know why. It's weird to me, like why, but when people see you're actually getting um donations, they see you're monetized. I mean, I don't know who these people are directly. Well, actually I do, but because these people actually they start, having channels, and they start talking directly about you. And I guess you're competition at that point. And I guess people don't like competition. So they I guess you're competition at that point. Once you got a monetized YouTube channel, you're getting ads, you're running, you go, live or whatever, you get super chats and all that. Like, then yeah, people start targeting you. And especially, here's the thing though, I'll say this. If you have a format like where you just talking, I'm talking about like your format of your channel is like a talk show and or radio podcast type of show. Yeah, like where you talking about various forms of topics and people and stuff like that. Yeah, like if you're doing videos of you chopping down firewood, ain't nobody gonna fucking you know what I'm saying, like come at you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you testing smoke alarms, you know, um in buildings because you're, I don't know, property inspector or whatever, ain't nobody gonna be coming at you. It's more or less kind of like, let's just say the manosphere type of content. That's where you're gonna get beef. You're gonna it's primarily that, and that's why people like I'm not manosphere type shit. Like that really matters. That's like saying that's like a stripper at a strip club saying uh she's not having sex in the champagne room. Everybody knows strippers have sex. Now, in the champagne room. I mean, it might be some strippers that, yeah, they don't get down. I'm sure it's probably some, but most strippers are like two of the same. They actually are, escorts and strippers. They they have sex for money, like most strippers. Like they're two of the same. And it's like I'm not saying if you're part of the manosphere, you're a stripper or a hoe. But I'm just saying you can't. The two are inseparable. Like it's like you can't separate yourself like that when you're the same people. More or less, let's just say it's probably more similar to you saying that you have the same type of crowd of people that go to a strip club, the strip club patrons, and those same patrons come to your channel, and you say, "Oh no, I'm not just, I'm not part of that strip club. I'm part of another strip club," and they have the same patrons. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter if you say you're not part of that or whatever. The same people coming to your channel to fucking watch your videos. So you're saying you're not part of that it doesn't even matter. It's like literally those same people, they kind of um are inseparable to you and the other people that are associated with them, i.e. the manosphere peoples or black manosphere. So it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're just working on cars, ain't nobody gonna be starting no beef with you. Ain't nobody gonna be like, I mean, other than probably other people that have car videos, they'll probably say, no, that dude's fucking up people cars. He don't know what he doing, or they'll do some shit like that. But most part, you ain't gonna have no beef, because you're actually doing some shit. Like that's the thing with me. Like you can see me. I'm right now I'm talking or whatever. But then you can see videos of me doing shit, like building, like fucking building cement blocks and shit like that, cutting the refrigerator in half. That refrigerator was like literally moldy. It was my uncle's old refrigerator that was in the basement. It had mold in it, didn't work. Her hallway was so narrow that you couldn't hardly get the refrigerator out. I don't know how the fuck they got it in. And basically, the only solution I could think of was to cut it in fucking half with a sawzall. With a basically that blade was a titanium blade. You couldn't use no regular sawzall blade. I had to go buy a special blade. Either that or like the blade I have now on my sawzall. I'll just talk a little bougie. I got a diamond blade. I got a diamond blade. I just recently used that. I should have did a video on that, but I didn't want to do it. But I had to cut a lock open, so I used a diamond blade. Yeah, diamond. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing shit, you know. So I mean, you occasionally see me doing shit, not talking shit. I'm doing shit. I'm doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to mix it up, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, most of the time people beef with you because now I will say now it is people that beef that ain't got monetization and shit. That's just some that's more like bums beefing with bums. I mean, that's that's what I see. Like that's all. I mean, and I know I pissed a lot of people because I've been talking about bums lately. I've been pissing some people off, and you should be pissed off if you feel insecure about me calling you a bum. If you think you're a bum, if that triggered you, that I'm talking more about bums, then yeah, hey, I ain't gonna lie. My sister used to trigger. She used to say bum. Like you, yeah. She used to fucking say bum. That she used to piss me the fuck out. And I still think about that shit. Cause like one of my sisters a Virgo too. And one thing about Virgos, they can say some shit and get under your fucking skin. The tone and everything. And it's like, man, to this day, man, I think about that shit. Like, yeah, I don't want to be no fucking bum. Definitely. And I think about my sister too. Like, I don't want my sister to think I'm a fucking bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. But yeah, man. Um, it's so many ways to make money now. It's a tripped out time. Like, this shit is kind of tripped out. It's trippy. It's tripped out like a motherfucker. This time right now is so tripped out because there's so many fucking ways to make money. So many goddamn ways to make money. It is utterly ridiculous. You gotta understand, right? So one of my startups, owlsherbs.com, right? If I can meet somebody cool as hell, whatever, willing to get like just $1,000,000, which is nothing. In the startup world, $1,000,000 is nothing. Now, a lot of these angel investors, they give way more than $1,000,000. And in a lot of the companies, they do not get they're not successful. They end up losing, or maybe losing money. Okay, they end up, it's a situation where they lose money. And they invest in certain companies. It's like a gamble, but they kind of hoping that it takes off. But how they do it is they invest in so many companies that make money. The other companies that don't make no money, it's a write-off to them. They just move on, but they've already invested in Airbnb and all these other companies to where those companies they make money off of. And the other ones that they don't make money off of, okay, it's just in the list of companies that is like scratch offs. It's like, basically, it didn't fare well, or it got sold, or whatever the case may be. It folded. Out of like what, 1,000,000 companies, like only 100 of those companies make it to where they even make $1,000,000 out of 1,000,000 companies, 100. And then out of that 100, like 10 make it to where they make over $10 million a year profit. And maybe out of that one in 1,000,000 companies, they make over $1 billion. Actually, even less, probably even less than one. So it's like, yeah, this business is very, very competitive. It's a lot of things. So a lot of things. But the thing is that I'm pretty certain with money, with capital infusion, my herbs business would definitely make profit. I mean, it a million, it would have just $1,000,000. It would do a lot. But I mean, and I might be able to find an investor, but I haven't even got to that point. But the thing is that it's so many ways you can make money nowadays. I actually, my herbs business, I've made a lot of money off of my herbs business. I mean, that's probably the most I've made was from my herbs business. sometimes you got to go offline. You got to go hit the streets and kind of like just kind of sell or kind of go somewhere and set up a booth or something. I mean, you get everything. You got to bring the offline world to the online world. You know, if you're not doing well online, you got to go offline. If you got a product that you're selling, you got to go offline. You know, you got to hit up the flea market. You got to, go set up a whatever you got to do. Set up a little shop somewhere temporarily or whatever. They got so many stores opening now because a lot of businesses have closed and a lot of commercial spaces are open. They got places where, I mean, the landlord, you'd be like, well, I just want to have a store for like a month or a week. You know, like I think they call them a pop shop or something like that. I just kind of want to gauge, how this, I want to have a kind of event or something for like a week, and I just want to sell my merchandise and have like a party or something. And they'll literally let you do it because they don't, it's a win for them. Like they ain't, got nobody renting the space out. As long as it's in decent condition, they'll let you do that. Uh, you know, go to, I used to hit the streets, man. One of my friends, my business mentor, you know, he used to hit the streets, man. I I I used to, man, hit the streets, man, and just sell whatever I was selling. I used to have these little bootleg Jordans, and I used to just hit the streets, man. I had a tote full of Jordans. I was just selling them joints right on the south side in a dangerous neighborhood. I was crazy. I didn't I wanted to make money. I had the Jordans. I just who cares? I just hit the streets real quick, about a good hour, made like $200, $300 or something like that. Just going all over the place, man. With some Jordans and a pocket full of cash, man. I mean, that's probably would be considered guerrilla salesman, a guerrilla salesman, a street peddler, a guerrilla street peddler. Like, yeah, I mean, it's that's the oldest way of selling. And it's like, yeah, it's really the best way, really, to get off the ground because it's almost like you're a homeless businessman because you have no store, obviously. So it's your two legs and whatever you're selling. And believe it or not, man, like, I mean, hell, it's like literally it's dudes, man. When I used to have my store, it was dudes like walking around selling all kind of shit, man, candy and like face towels. One of the things I do like about Chicago, New York is like that too. You can literally, it's hustle friendly. Like certain places, it's not hustle friendly like that. Like Chicago is very hustle friendly. You can literally get some merchandise, walk around, sell that shit. Ain't nobody gonna bother you either. Like maybe, depending on where you are, if you probably downtown, the police might harass you depending on who they are. You could literally just go. I think it's like $50. You go get a peddler's license, and literally that license give you the ability to sell stuff on the street. So, again, that's been going on for people have been doing that for freaking millennia, selling on the streets, selling on the market, um just going door to door sales, whatever. Like I used to go door to door and all of that. Like, man, I mean, but I'm not even talking about that. I mean, it's like
when I was saying startups, when I was talking about my startups, it's so many startups that do have funding, and they're like DoorDash and shit. DoorDash was like, before they even got funding like heavily and went public, uh it was just an app, you know what I'm saying? And it's like people started to catch on to it, but it's so many companies like that. Like, it's moving companies and all kind of different companies where it's just this app, and you sign up, and then you're cleaning out somebody's gutters or walking somebody's dog or something, part time. And it's like, you could watch somebody's kid, you go, it's like literally care.com. People need babysitters. As long as you can pass that background check, like, you can just watch somebody's kid. Like, you can watch, they got old people that need somebody to watch them. They can't really take care of themselves. You can watch somebody, you know what I'm saying, um, that's elderly. I mean, like, it's just so many ways, like, to make money. And here's I know all the little, I know all of the shit going on and shit. I know it's people that's getting Section 8. It's guys that's on, they getting a crazy check, they getting Social Security or whatever, and they gotta basically be broke. They gotta be broke to keep that shit. I know all the little whatever, you know, and you can't work, because if you work so much, you get kicked off that shit. I know all about it. And it's like, the thing is that even the government will give you a grant to fucking start a business, literally. Like, the government will give you a grant, like a fucking grant. And all you got to do is fill the paperwork out. Follow the steps, fill the paperwork out. They might give it to you. Literally. It's crazy. They'll just give you the shit. But it's like, you gotta, in order to make it, you gotta have a good business plan, you gotta have a good business strategy, and you gotta scale it. But it's so many ways, even with all the stuff going on. I mean, racism, whatever. It's still a lot of it's a lot of stuff out here. I mean, you're gonna have to deal with different types of people and all that. Yeah, but it's so many ways to make money out here now. I mean, it's just like, all you could just look up startups. Like, it's so many startups, man. It's so many. Like, you could actually work for a startup, and they'll give you, some of the startup companies, they will give you like shares of the company. And if it goes to market and it IPOs, depending on how many shares you got, boom. I mean, you know, it could go really, really big. Like, I posted something to my Facebook page, and it was this dude that he played basketball in the 70s, I think. And he got a deal. Nike was just starting out. Nike was this fledgling company. They needed athletes to sell their sneakers. And this one guy, I don't know who his name was. I mean, a lot of old guys, probably older Gen X, they probably know, the baby boomers. Um, this guy was offered 10% of Nike. 10%. And he basically declined it, I think, and they gave him $100,000. He took the $100,000 instead of the 10%. And all you gotta do is look up what the value of Nike is right now. I mean, like, 10% is like, I mean, you 10% is like what just to get like that would be the equivalent of like an investor, angel investor, what they would get for giving the company like a certain amount of money or funding. They would get like 10% or 20%. Like that's a big deal. Like to get 10% of a company is a major thing. And I would say that definitely, just off the top of my head, I would say Nike is definitely worth over at least $50 billion at this point. Probably 100 billion, but probably at least 50 billion. And I mean, obviously 10% of that would be $5 billion. If this man took that 10%, okay, um, he would be the richest black man in the United States. Just off of that. If he never um if he never sold and he just cashed in last year or whatever, he'd have been the richest black man in North America. Okay, that would be the equivalent of what that would be like. I mean, obviously they probably would have tried to buy him out and all of that stuff. I mean, trying to maintain all of that would have been a big thing. I mean, 10%, if he owned 10%, he obviously can be at the shareholders meetings and all of that type of stuff. Um, and of course he could have cashed some in. He didn't. He could have cashed 5% in and still had 5% left, and still would have been a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, see, the thing is like, man, we just, we weren't taught in many regards business. We weren't taught like investing knowledge and all of that type of stuff. Like, we just weren't taught that shit, man. Like, even me, like, I wasn't I wasn't taught this. Even in my household, my family, they weren't talking about no damn investing like that. It was talking about real estate, but they weren't talking about like investing in no companies and all that. Like, I had to learn that on my own. I had to learn that like the combination of going to college, um, my own research, listen to other people and stuff like that. That's how I had to learn. Like, I didn't necessarily get that part from my upbringing and everything. But yeah, a lot of people they didn't get it, and then they wasn't even interested in it. They wasn't. I had an interest in it. Like, you gotta think people whatever they interested in, they're gonna get. They're gonna research and all of that. Like, you got people that's just generally not interested. They not interested at all. Like, for whatever reason, it's just boring to them. It's doesn't make sense or whatever. I don't know. And that's just how that goes. It just stuck. But those people would, if they did, like Ron Artest, he's admitted that um he made a blunder very similar to that. I don't know the company, but he said basically a company offered him shares, and he didn't take that. He just wanted the cash instead. And Ron Artest is from Queensbridge projects and shit like that. You know, most people, they come from places where they didn't have, and then they taught to think everything is money. Money to a lot of people is not infinite; it's finite. It's the same thing I said, like with women. A lot of people think, because of whatever they weren't around a lot of women, they just, I don't know, for whatever reason, like they just, I don't know what it is, like as far as things. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't really know. Like it is, yeah. It's certain areas that it's not a lot of or it's very competitive, or it's just not a lot of women. Let's just say, yeah, just not a lot of women. I'll just say women because um it's just places where you might be and it's just not a lot of women. And if it is women, it's like damn near you gotta catch a bullet for a woman. Like in the hood, a lot of dudes they gotta do a lot to have a woman or a bunch of women. They have to have shootouts with other dudes and shit. I be thinking about that. I'm like, damn. I was talking to my uncle. I was like, damn, to deal with a black woman or whatever, it seemed like you gotta put up with a lot of shit. And it's like, does that shouldn't be normal. Like you shouldn't have like not even just a black woman, just any woman to have to deal with like all of that. It is, and there's a lot of men that don't have to deal with that, but it is men that I've seen, and I've even heard stories where they had to deal with shootouts with the rival, the woman's baby daddy, and all of this type of shit. And I'm like, just to motherfucking reproduce and have a have a child or a baby with someone, to, even just to have a relationship with someone where y'all fucking, you got to deal with shootouts and all of that and fights and shit. That's like crazy to me. That shit was absolutely bonkers for me to think about. And it's like, I mean, it ain't that I'm not, I can't go at it with the best of them. It's like, to me, I ain't never think like, even when I was in high school, I didn't think I'm going I'm going to fight a whole bunch of dudes over one chick. Like, I'm not gonna, why would I do that? Like that don't that don't make any sense. I knew that shit like when I was like a lot of shit when I was like wise before my time. Like I just think in my big little Virgo brain, that shit don't fucking make sense. It's like gangs were one of those things. It was like that shit don't make no fucking sense. I hang around a whole bunch of fucking dudes, and then I gotta do shit for these dudes. And then it's some hood shit. It's some shit associated really with some like really poverty, really. Because that's where street gangs came from. Struggling from poverty, trying to, defend the neighborhood from other dudes that's struggling from poverty, and then white people that were the police that was, making things hard for those people struggling in poverty. And I was like, okay, to get some broads, the appeal was some women. It was an appeal. The women were appeal, like as far as, but it wasn't like these were all the, it's not like people try to paint a picture like all the women like hood dudes. No. See, I went to an all black high school. I went to an all black college. So I know what's real and what, is fake. I mean, it's not like all hood dudes get all women. It's not like that. It'll people that are like that, they'll try to market themselves to say that that's the case. It's not the case. Now, they'll get some women, the women that hung out with the hood dudes or the thugs, let's just say, because that's what they was called when I was in high school, thugs. Those women were, for the most part, fast. One, they were fast. That was what they was called, fast or um Some of them were hood rats. That's what we called them when I was in high school. And the hood rats, they would basically let the gang, the hood dudes or thug dudes run the train on them. You know, they would, you know what I'm saying, do all kind of shit, and they were hood rats. And the other chicks, they would have a girl, they would have a boyfriend that was in the gang, and they were like, I call them now gangster bulls. Some people call them pookeishas. I think I came up with that, but I don't know. I definitely put that reference as far as pookeishas, but some people call them pookeishas. But yeah, they were like, they had a boyfriend that was in gangs, and they like thugs. They liked they like hanging with it would be the bad boy. They like hanging with the bad boys. They liked the flair of violence and the edge of dealing with things that were bad. Other than this is some of those women. This is what happens to those women when they get older or whatever. They get to see some shit or involve themselves into some shit that scares it's like scared straight, where they've been around somebody and the dude got shot in front of them. They were in a car or something, and the chick got a graze wound. Like, it's like some Tupac and Suge Knight. Like, Tupac got the brunt of the bullets, but Suge Knight, he got a graze wound. Well, it's like some chicks, they got shot in the leg or the arm, but they saw their boyfriend get a hail of bullets and died, and it scared the fuck out of them. And then they start staying in the house a little bit more. Maybe some of them start going to church or something. And it's like they changed because they got scared straight. They got so scared that it wasn't fun anymore. They saw they life flash before their eyes. And then they start, even some of them, they start, changing who they want to even date. Now they look at now they now they looking at the dude, the square dude going to go work at the office or the warehouse even. It's like not so bad, because he ain't worried about no hail of bullets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of them chicks, it was certain types of chicks that hung with those dudes. The chicks that was like, it was some chicks that was probably A students, honor roll, or honors students. Yeah, they might have had a hood dude or whatever. A few of them. But most of them chicks, they like the jocks. Like, the jocks were, I mean, some of them was, thugs or whatever, or gang affiliated. I mean, at least in my high school, I mean. But, it's like that's who a lot of the women liked. As far as like the hierarchy of a high school, as far as when I was in high school, it was the jocks was pretty much on top. The thugs, they were, they had a lot of the chicks that were, hood rats. They had a lot of the hood rats, and they had the gangster boo chicks, Pookeishas. They like, the hood dudes. But I mean, the funny thing, man, was, come to find out, on some like American, if you ever saw the movie American Pie, speaking of high school and shit, the band motherfuckers was the ones that was having the most fun. Like, they was the ones that was doing the most fucking. Like, I mean, at least in my high school, like, I mean, this shit was crazy when I found out the band, they was just having just sexcapades in the band room. Like it was like some like, you know, tripped out ass thing that it was like, wow, these motherfuckers is fucking getting it on like rabbits. And you wouldn't think that people in the band was getting it on like that. Like they kind of like nerdy, like, you know, playing with him, playing with my trombone and, you know, my flute. Like I thought they were kind of corny, but turns out they was the ones that was getting it on more than damn near the people, the fucking jocks, the athletes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I was an athlete. I wrestled in high school, and then when I was a senior, I was pretty much on the basketball team. And it's like, shit, they was getting it on more than the athletes. And it was like, damn, shit, I ain't even know until like probably by junior year, senior year. It was like, damn. I looked at the people in the band totally different. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers getting it on. But you wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't think that. Like, motherfucker with a goddamn saxophone and trombone, look, you know, total cornball is banging um Keisha that plays the flute in the band room. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tripped out. But you know, the thing is man, you know, I say all that to say that I just thought that gang shit was corny because it was like I saw some of the women that were appealing, you know, as far as the chicks that like the gang, the you know thugs or whatever. But yeah, you know, the older I got, the more real it got, and it was like, yeah, it was a situation where it was like, yeah, I was pretty much right because I looked at those scary. I look at Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. I looked at them like kind of like horror movies. I looked at uh uh what was that? New Jack City. Man, New Jack City, man. That shit was like a horror movie to me. You know, that shit was some scary ass shit, man. Super duper gangster. Like, and they say that was based off of a true story. But I mean, you know, that I mean, it was going down in the 80s, man. Crack was hitting hard, you know. Um shit, I ain't want no parts of that shit. I ain't want no parts. I mean, I just yeah. I I knew that shit. I mean, you fucking around with death, destruction, and goddamn it, fighting dudes and getting shootouts and all. I mean, fuck out of here. For what? For what? For some money and some hood rats? Some nah, huh? Hell no. No. Just didn't make I don't know. I just it just didn't add up to me. Did never really did. And I was right. I was totally right. Like a lot of them dudes, they ended up with you know, pretty much going to prison, had to, you know, had to straighten up, had to square up, eventually square up because, you know, they got tired of going to prison. Shit. You can't once you go to prison once, you probably don't want to go back, you know, again. So a lot of, you know, a lot of times people they straighten up, you know, square up or whatever. But you know, it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of ways, man. Nowadays it's easier to do so many different things because it's just because of technology. I mean, technology is just crazy right now. Like a lot of these technology stocks, man, they just took off where I just, if you would have told me what 8 years ago, fucking Nvidia, AMD would be like this, like fucking, I mean, 8 years, yeah, 8 years ago, Intel, everybody was talking about Intel. I was working at Tiger Direct. We were selling fucking Intels. We were offering AMDs as like a low cost alternative, Like, and now AMD is like, you know what I'm saying, got Intel foot on his neck. Like, say another word, motherfucker. It's like, I never would have thought that shit. I thought, back then, 2015, 2000, shit, hell, you could say 2005 to 2015. Intel was the king. It was like Intel. Everybody wanted the Intel laptop. Now, I mean, Intel still, is hitting hard, but I mean, AMD is taking off, man. Nvidia, I mean, shit. Like, I just didn't, after a while, it's like, you can't, you need a certain level of life sustainability to trade stocks. Okay. In order to really, really get down on stocks, you have to have some type of stable life. In order to do quite a bit of things, you have to have some stability. One of the things, as far as if you want to get into collecting and all of that, you have to have a stable life to be a collector and all of that. Like, you have to be literally, I would say most of the people that collect things, they're one place and they stay there. And they got their house, wherever they live, and they're there for like, 5-10 years or even longer. And they collecting whatever the fuck they collect. Stocks are like that. Like, you need a certain level of stability really to really get out in stocks. Like, meaning you got your life in order, you got your finances in order. You can slowly grow your portfolio like a 401k where you put away whatever, 500 a month, whatever you can afford, 200 a month. Me right now, I'm putting away like what, $200 a month at least. That just goes to show you how stable my life is. I mean, I I have a lot going on. I mean, I have a house that's, expensive to fix up, which I would say houses are the most expensive to fix up. Like, I fixed up cars over time. Shoot, houses is way more expensive than fixing up a regular. I mean, even, well, unless you got like a fucking Lamborghini or Ferrari, like, no, a house is more expensive than even fixing up a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Yeah, because yeah, it's slightly more like the or average house. Yeah, a wrecked Ferrari or Lamborghini. Uh, yeah. You probably put about almost damn near neck and neck, if like slightly more for a house to fix up, but it's about on that same level. And it's like, yeah, you could have just bought a fucking used Ferrari or whatever, an old Ferrari if that's what But yeah, it's expensive, man. I mean, houses are expensive now, but um you got to live somewhere. Shit, it starts right there. Like, okay, where you gonna live? Okay, you gonna live with like. And here's the thing: like, I don't know. I don't think I shitted on people that live with their parents. I don't think I did because I lived with my parents for a long time. Like I lived with my parents all the way in my early 30s. Like off and on. Like I've had, periods where I was on my own and then I come back and live with my parents because I was, just I wasn't I didn't know what I know now. I didn't have the level of consistency that I do now. I had to learn that late, but that was the biggest reason I had probably so many problems. But um, better late than never. But the thing is that yeah, I live with my parents all the way till shit. I was my early 30s before I just went on my own and you know got married and all that. But I mean, it ain't really nothing wrong. Like as long as your parents are cool to where they, of course you're gonna have to do certain shit that like you're gonna have to help your parents. Your parents is gonna ask you for some help. They're gonna ask you to go to the store, just like you a fucking teenager. Like go take the garbage out and all that shit. Like, but it's that's cool. That's expected. But you should be trying to save your money if you live with your parents. I mean, that's the goal, like that you should be trying to do. But it ain't nothing like man, when my parents was gone, I was thinking about. I was like, damn, I had some of the best sex in my mama's house. Like I was thinking like some baby boy type shit. Like damn, I was goddamn. What the fuck? I started having flashbacks and shit. I'm like, God damn, I was what the fuck? Man, I was goddamn it, man. Shit, I had man some of the best pussy that I mean in my motherfucking mama's house and shit. And and I'm like, damn, I was having flashbacks and shit. Like, damn, but I mean, my mother was definitely she was cool. My dad was pretty stern, but I mean, as long as you can, what I'm saying, your parents ain't fucking abusing you or some shit like that. Like, I mean, if your parents is cool, like I don't see no reason to you should feel bad that you live with your parents or anything like that or whatever. Like as long as you saving some money or whatever, I mean, hey, your parents, you gotta think about it, your parents gonna die. So if it just so happens that you live with them, actually eventually you gonna think about it when they die. Like my parents are dead, you gonna be like, damn, you gonna wish you could live with them even longer. Like, so I wouldn't worry about that too much because to be honest, there's certain customs and like cultures. The woman definitely before she gets married, she lives with her parents. That's what she does. Like it's this chick, man. She's really good like with trading stocks and stuff. I think she's a millionaire or something. Like if she's not a millionaire, she's like damn near close to it. Or if not, sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars at the very least. She lives with her parents. She lives with her parents. She does not live by herself. Now, um, the thing is that that's customary for a lot of people. Traditionally, a lot of Middle Easterners. That's what they do. Indians, Asians. It's quite customary for them when they're not married to live with their parents. Now the men, not so much. It's more or less the women, I'll say, but I think the men too, though. I think because like I remember this dude, he was Indian and he lived with his parents. Like he even got married Cause see, Asians they live. See, we in America, people follow the nuclear family model. Most people out like different countries, they have an extended family where the parents live with the children. So you could like the guy now he wasn't married, but he's married. He got kids. He had kids, and he was still living with his parents. You know they. You know he still had money and everything like that. And they all lived in one house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually a lot of eight, like a lot of eight. You know, I've been to a lot of people's houses because I used to and I still do it. I you know do like home computer repair and stuff like that. And it's like you know, I saw how a lot of people live, like a lot of Filipinos um that's how they live. Like they had a whole and it ain't even just the kids and the mom and dad. It be like they be having cousins, aunts, uncles, all living in one house. I mean, the house is pretty, you know, pretty. Well, I ain't gonna even say it was big, but it's like it's like a deluxe style cul-de-sac house, like with like probably like 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, or 2.5 baths. It's like, yeah, they all live in one house. You know, all of them, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, live in one kind of like a clan. Like a clan is like a whole bunch of people in your family, like with one house. And it's like that's how they live. You know, they all share, you know, memories and they live in one house and they obviously combining whatever they have material wise, money wise. Um, you know, a lot of people say that's better than the nuclear family because the nuclear family is more, I would say, independent. It's more like, you know, people trying to be independent of other families you know, it's like everybody's has little pods. It's like this nuclear family, and then they all meet up to, you know, that's what Thanksgiving and all Christmas and all that, or picnic, barbecue, whatever. They meet up, they all meet up to you know to join this extended family and talk and you know talk about things and all that. But it's some people they have an extended family model where the grandparents live with each other, aunts, uncles, cousins, you know, they live in one house, you know, and it works out. I mean, is it better? I mean, have I lived like that? Hell no, I ain't. I ain't never experienced nothing like that. Well, actually, I have. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I kind of have, and you know, it's kind of, you know, I ain't, you know, you know what? I kind of have. I did have that. And I'm not, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, yeah, you know, it's kind of personal, but I did live like that briefly, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll just say, yeah, I did live like that, but it was all right. It was all right, you know. Everybody got along for the most part. Um, yeah, so I did, and this was like my mother's side, like so. Yeah, so like I mean, I let's just say I didn't have a whole bunch of money, and it was well before the millionaire savings plan. So um, yeah, it's a long story, but I did have something like that where it was like an extended family model for a few years, and then I helped my mom like spruce her credit up, and she got a house and everything, but you know. it was like kind of out of convenience. But it worked out. It was I probably would say that I'm more comfortable with the nuclear family model um than the extended family model. I mean, the extended family model is probably okay, but you know, it was, I would say, probably I'm more comfortable with the nuclear family model, probably, um as far as what I'm comfortable with. But some people, they might be comfortable with an extended family. But yeah, I don't know. But the thing is that I had to remember, like, damn, yeah, I did live like that, like it was an extended family for a period of time. Um, Actually, couple times, because my mother, she did that again. Like when we got our first house, when we moved to Dalton, we had to live with our grandparents for a period of a couple months, because so she had to save some money for the down payment and everything. So it was like a period of a few months we lived with our grandparents. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, it happens from time to time that people go back to live with their parents periodically, and then yeah, that's an extended family type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm all over the place. But I just, whole the bum stuff is just, I get it. I mean, people have their periods of time where they struggle. And I think some people, though, it's a permanent struggle. You could call it a bum chip. Like they can't think of themselves any other than being a bum. Like it's you could call it a bum chip. They got a chip on their head that they permanently think that they cannot do anything other than be a bum, other than struggle financially. And I think the bum chip comes from, your parents. If you grew up in some like situation where you was in poverty, you around a lot of people that's struggling, and that's all you know is struggle, and you really don't know anything else. You haven't been out of anything, out of your environment. You haven't seen the world. You don't understand what's going on economically. That's what economics is important. You kind of understand, okay, what GDP is. What this is what I used to kind of remind myself every day. I would be like, I would remind myself, just the stock market alone. The stock market trades over $1 trillion every single day. And that's just every day. Now, here's the thing that's tripped out about that, right? So that's just the stock market, right? You hear a lot, you probably hear a lot about, if you online, you hear a lot about Forex. Forex actually is, as far as like the stock market, this is what I learned from, like, I was kind of taking a class on Forex, or just a course. The Forex market is like way bigger than the stock market. It dwarfs the stock market, dwarfs in comparison to the foreign exchange market. Like the foreign exchange market is huge in comparison to the stock market. As far as the stock market is like this little lizard, and the forex market is like Godzilla. Like that's how big the foreign exchange market is. And it's like, okay, if the stock market trades $1 trillion a day, how much do you think the foreign exchange market trades currency, different foreign currencies, the yen, the pound, the South African rand, the I forgot what they call it, the Hong Kong, uh, mm, the yen, um, Canadian dollar, the peso, Mexican peso, all of these different currencies, man, they one price and then they fluctuate throughout the day, night, I mean, it's just so much like going on, like, and you just having a piece of it, a crumb of that will make you extremely rich. Like, just, being connected, knowing what's going on, um, knowing who got money, following the money, all of this type of stuff kind of opens you up to, even if you don't have a whole bunch of money, you know what's going on, you know who's got the money, the families, you know, um, people that own LVMH, the Waltons, um, you know, the Johnsons, of course, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all of these different, families, man, and just what they own, what they historically own, uh, just kind of following the money, and you understand. I mean, you could how you can get out of the bum shit is like, yeah, just kind of being money minded. If you become money minded in the sense that you understand what's going on, you understand why a lot of people are, in a state they are in, um, what's going on with this country. Like, I have to, constantly remind myself that it might seem like all of this stuff is easy to attain, like capital attainment is easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying there's more opportunities now than it was, but you got to understand that it's uh it's a lot of inequity as far as wealth in this country, because it's a lot of gatekeeping. It's a lot of gatekeeping in this country. It's a lot of red tape. You got to understand it's a lot of red tape and gatekeeping in this country. A lot of laws and stuff to make it, very, very difficult to do certain things financially. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as day trading, you have to have over $25,000 in order to get in and out of trades. Well, Forex, that's where Forex comes in. Forex, you can get it in and out of a trade anytime you want to, in case you didn't know that. Like Forex, you can get in and out of a trade anytime you want. Um, so yeah, like, that's why it is quite a few individuals that I know off the top of my head that has made money off of Forex, that legitimately made money off of Forex. I do know that. And they still make it. They still got money, you know. Um I see how you can make money. I didn't necessarily make a whole bunch of money off of Forex. I made more money probably trading stocks than I did Forex, but I could see how you can make money off of Forex. Also, I can see how you can make a whole bunch of money off of stocks too, because a lot of the things is about value. I mean, it's about how many shares you have, and what it's just basically how many shares you have, and the percentage of those, the price of the shares going up. I mean, the more shares you have, the better. But you could scale. The thing is, if you got a small account, you could scale it up to where it gets higher. You could, kind of compound it to where it grows over time. That's your really only hope, because you got to think about it. You don't have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Money ain't gonna come out of thin air. So what are you gonna what can you do? A lot of times people kind of feel defeated. Um and that's why I did that Robin Hood challenge. Like, um, I kind of was trying to show, and then kind of help, kind of learn myself about how to kind of scale a small account. Uh, you know, the guy that I was trying to like kind of see how I could do things. He took 400 and turned it to 1 million, but the dude was already um a pretty much experienced trader. Like, he's already $1 million trader. So he just basically just repeated what he knows how to do already. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been no $1 million trader. At the end of the day, I have not been a million. I mean, I hope to be one day, but I have yet to be $1 million trader. $1 million trader, of course, he probably knows how to make $1 million again. Um, but the thing is that I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there and witnessing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily know. I don't know if he didn't cheat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I believe it. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't grow an account. You can't do that. You got to be very, very consistent though. And you can't take no loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of mistakes that I made even when I did that Robinhood challenge, that I could have done a lot more. Gotta understand, a lot of things were going on. Life was going on. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still, doing things different, trying to grow. I'm still not eating any meat, so my energy levels are, kind of trying to regulate themselves. Um, I'm kind of like going into a level where it's it's a lot of pros, and it's a lot less cons. And I do have the cravings. I have meat cravings and shit like that, but um the pros of not eating meat. And I tell you, like, every time I hear somebody like sick or something like that, that definitely motivates me to continue on. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, it's like, yeah, like the like not being sick part is one of the motivators for me not to, kind of eat any meat or whatever. I mean, it definitely takes. I mean, I say not eating meat because I'm not necessarily. I know it's a lot of stuff that I'm eating that probably, as far as a vegan or even vegetarian, would not like. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm that, but I'm definitely not eating meat. But yeah, the pros, it outweighs the cons by a long shot. Um, I mean, it just, I hope I can go as long as I possibly can. I mean, like, literally, because I mean, shit. It's just, I've just seen so much. Like, I just know it. And I know people are addicted. People literally are just addicted to meat. Like, people don't talk about meat addiction. Pause. Like, people don't talk about meat addiction, but meat addiction is a real thing. Like, people just die if they don't eat meat. Like, literally, like, it's people do not talk about that. Like, I'm fucking addicted to fucking meat. I'm addicted to hamburgers, ribs, whatever, like pork chops, whatever the fuck. Like, they're just, you just a you're a meat addict. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that concept does not vibe well to you, because you're a meat addict. At the end of the day, you're addicted to meat. Now, um, I guess that's a good thing if you're a woman and you got my meat, but yeah, like a lot of people are addicted to fucking meat. You know what I'm saying? We got a new comment. Because it's really difficult because been grew up on it. Your parents, well, you start, if you breastfed and they wean you off the breast milk with milk, and you eating little mushed up food, mushed up meat. Then you get older, you eating a whole plate of food. You know what I'm saying? It's addictive, man. Shit, my dad was raised with fucking cows, like in Africa. She came over here eating cows. Like I'm basically grew up with just eating meat, beef, and steaks and all that. Like I literally went to a farm, me and my sisters, with my dad and one of his friends, and we literally went to some like farm and was there most of the day, and they were basically slaughtering some cow in a barn somewhere in Wisconsin. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's what I grew up on. Trust me, it's fucking difficult. Trust and believe it is fucking difficult. I mean, every fucking day. And I don't really know what to eat. I'm not fucking, I've never, like, I got two homies that's vegetarians and they inspire me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, one of them, he played basketball. He played college basketball. Uh, and he still look young. He still play basketball. Uh, the other dude, he was a boxer for briefly, but he wasn't really good at it because he was getting knocked out. But he probably knocked shit. I don't really want no problems because you don't want to deal with no boxer. That's the last person you really want to. Well, you just don't want to deal with no boxer, man. Um, a trained boxer fuck you up. But pause. But uh, he's a vegetarian, and his girlfriend a vegetarian. She look good. Look, man, he got my fucking a girlfriend that is I'll say she about a 7. A Chicago 7 is like you gonna get looks. You got a chick that's a Chicago 7, you gonna get looks everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you gonna get some looks, haters, all kind of shit. She's a vegetarian. Um, yeah, so Maya, the singer Maya, she's a vegetarian. You know, if you do a side by side comparison with her and Khalees, you'll see. Okay, for a woman, okay, a meat eater versus a vegetarian, you choose. you know, but and I like Khalees. Like I really, yeah, like I really like Khalees. Now, you know, I was gonna do some more about astrology or the zodiacs and stuff, and it's interesting because one of the things I'll say, like, I said some other stuff here. It's hard for me to drink tea and coffee without sugar. Oh yeah, well you gotta get some honey. Yeah, you gotta use a substitute, and that would be probably most likely honey. Um, yeah, I mean, when I start, before I got to this point where I'm on now, I was doing, at one time, I was like, I definitely stopped eating a lot. One of the things about when you stop eating meat too, I'll say, I know I'm not the only one, but you're not gonna eat that much because it's like actually you're stop eating a lot. Your food consumption drops because when you eat meat, you eat more meat. Like you eat more than you normally do. And the reason why I think is because of parasites. It's a lot of when you eat a lot of meat and processed food and sugars and stuff, you're feeding the parasites actually. That's one of the reasons why you constantly want to keep eating because you eat some McDonald's and by the time you get home, if you ate it in the car, you're hungry again, or even when you eat it at home, you're hungry after you ate it. You want something else, like probably an hour or two later. Is because you're really just feeding the parasites. And parasites are the reason why you keep eating because they need to keep fed. So and then if you deal with the parasites, you get sick because they rob your body of energy. So like when you eat meat, you eat like quite more. You eat more than you normally do. Like if you're not eating meat, like me not eating meat right now, like I'm not eating that much, and I'm not eating any fast food. I used to spend quite a bit of money on fast food. Like you literally listen to somebody on YouTube. They talking on YouTube talking about they pulling into a fast food restaurant. you know, Fat as a house. And that's another thing. I'm trying to lose weight. Like that's another motivation of me not eating meat. I'm literally trying to lose weight. So like, yeah, big as a house talking to you about how they having trouble with women and what they're screaming and yelling on a YouTube page about women pulling in a fast food restaurant. It's like talking about, yeah, I'll have a number. I left my straw. I need a straw, man. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get big as a fucking house. And that's it. Like you're gonna keep, spending, and then the money. I'm literally saving money because I'm not eating a lot of shit. Most of like your money is spent on you constantly, eating takeout, eating, food every day. So just think about how much money you eat, you spend on a meal every single day, multiple meals a day. That shit going in your pocket. You might eat one meal, maybe. Uh and it's like, man, I find myself going days without having to spend money because I'm not eating no fucking. I used to go to Panda Express. I go eat some food at the local grocery store, hot bar, eat some, whatever, like go to this restaurant, that restaurant, order this, order that. And it's like, no, that's not, it's not happening. I mean, so, like I'm not spending any money like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not doing that. Now I still have sleep issues still trying to deal with that. But the thing about, and I already know I've quote unquote stopped eating meat before. I know when you don't eat meat, you don't it's kind of tripped out, but your body still requires sleep, but you don't need that much sleep as you do when you eat meat. Like, or let's just say you're not as tired. But what I will say is I'm trying to slow down my coffee intake. I drink a lot of coffee normally. I'm gonna um I'm gonna start drinking more tea and then coffee because I think the coffee is not helping my sleep. I think that's like kind of taking away from some of my sleep. So another thing I'm gonna try to do is cut down the pop too. I'm gonna try to eliminate that. I got a juicer, so I've used it one time to make, well, actually twice. I made some lemonade and I made like orange juice. Orange juice was all right, but the lemonade was pretty good. It's like probably one of the best lemonade I probably ever had because it's like real concentrated lemonade. You know what I'm saying? It's really concentrated. But yeah, it's so many benefits, man. I don't wanna stop. Now I've cheated a little bit, but yeah, I'm not trying to go back, man. I know I've said that before, but I really ain't trying. If I can go, shit, my whole life, man, I'd be great. Cause I ate way too much meat, and I think I'm good. Like I leave meat to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need it. I'd rather be like I'm literally looking better, losing weight, feeling better. I mean, shit. It's like what the fuck? Like I can go on, but it's like what else? What else? I mean, what else can you ask for? Like I mean, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole like looking better part, man. Shit. I mean, looking all stuffed up and all that, like looking all, because you start like if you eating beef, like eating whatever, like these big ass mammals, start to look like them. It's a book called by Elijah Muhammad. It's called "You Are What You Eat." I do believe that. I do believe that. Like, I remember I was in this like this fried chicken restaurant, and it was this dude with these skinny ass chicken legs. And I was like, it's like looking at these dudes. Like, I think he had on some shorts or something. And I was looking at these legs. I was like, this motherfucker, obviously eat a lot of chicken. It's like this motherfucker goddamn got chicken legs. He eats so much chicken. And I remember telling my mother that, and she was laughing. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker eats so much goddamn chicken. Got chicken legs. And I was like, damn, hell no. And I mean, you know, I definitely think it's something with that. Like I literally do think that. Like that dude was a fucking genius, man. As far as everybody know, like Elijah Muhammad was nothing to be played with, man. He was, you know, what I'm saying. But that, yeah, you are what you eat. Yeah, I do think that. It's why I see white people that eat a lot of pork. They literally do look like pigs, and I know I'm not the only one that notices that. I mean, people that eat like eat a lot of pork. You can see the like I can see the animal like the actual pig look that they have. Like I can literally see that, and of course, like the whole fat and all of that shit, like the fatness, the pig looking face. I mean, that's why I mean, I don't know. You can go into these scary movies with like the pig mask and all of that. But yeah, like I seen it. I see that pig look face, and I can tell that this person eats a lot of pig. Most likely. Like I just be like, wow, okay, this person's eating a lot of pig. I mean, I don't know, but definitely, I definitely do think that, like that whole, you are what you eat. I definitely think that. But I've been sleeping most of the day because I mean that's what I normally do. I try to catch up on sleep on the weekend before I start the week. But sometimes when you sleep during the day, it's going to sleep at night sometimes becomes an issue. Um, Definitely gonna get back on this exercise bike though, and I look at it like if I'm up, I just need to be on the exercise bike. I'm trying to get back into my yoga. That helps too. Um, yoga is very very good. Um, different different poses and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, like massages help too. Like I got a massage yesterday. That was kind of uncomfortable though. I don't really like men give it like getting a massage from a man. It's like I'm not really into that shit, man. Men have they're stronger as far as like they can give the deep hard tissue massage and all that, but like I definitely don't want no dude, man, giving me no fucking massage, man. That the place I went, like it was only two women that worked there. So it was like I guess a family business or something. But nah, I'm not into no dudes giving me no fucking massage, man. You know, I'm just not into that. But I can see where you definitely need regular massages though. Like, I mean, I'm actually thinking about kind of getting into that. I'm looking into it, but thinking about getting into the massage business because I know people need massages, and it's like, the thing is that you could make some money doing that, but the thing that I have a problem with is that the massage industry is like associated kind of with the sex industry because it is a lot of massage therapists or let's just say people that give massages that are basically fucking their clients. It's like it's expected. Like the women, they probably would expect that, and then want not even expect, but want their masseuse to fuck them. And it's kind of like opening up a temptation jar because let's just say you meet somebody that wants a massage and they look like Beyonce. You're not gonna fuck them? Like, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, are you just gonna be like, nah, I don't want to fuck you? So it's like I've kind of battled with doing that for years because I mean I know I'm good at giving massages, but it's like the fucking you know it's like damn near like what I was saying earlier about you know how can you turn down you know I mean probably the women that you don't are not attracted to probably would be easy. I mean of course obviously no homo, but um a fucking fine chick that's got curves and everything, big titties and ass. How the hell can you just be like, nah, like, nah, this is just professional only. Like, it's just, it would be fucking difficult, I would think, for, of course, there's guys that, I mean, do that, like, there's some dude, it's a couple dudes, they got like, they do massages. Y'all probably seen them on Instagram. They do the massages, and then, you see they Twitter, they fucking the chicks and giving them massage. And they got an OnlyFans and everything. Like, it's like, damn, God, dog. Like, I mean, it's dudes that, yeah, they go all the way with it. They don't make it, they don't, what I'm saying? They make it very, intentional that, yeah, they going all the way with it. Like, what I'm saying? It's, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely, I struggle with that as far as, you know, I don't necessarily, if I wanted to be a fucking gigolo, I would have already been a gigolo. You know, I just, what I'm saying? That ain't something that I wanted to ever do or whatever. The massage thing, it seems like to me personally, that fucking gigolo thing would just like, it would just like, man, just jump out. Like, it's like, damn, here you go time. And it's like, that's why I've been avoiding that shit, man. Like, I would want to do it in a, like a, I wanted to like open a spot. That's one of my businesses that I would wanted to open. And in a format like that, it'd probably be easier to just say, just to be like, nah, I mean, it's professional. You got a spa, everything, cameras and everything, maybe. And, what I'm saying? It'd be more professional instead of going to somebody's house, and all of that. It would probably be more formal, and I wouldn't probably be as tempted. But yeah, going to somebody's house and bringing a massage table and some hot oil and shit, or they come into your house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of more personal, and it just seemed like, yeah, the temptation would probably be higher. But I don't know. I mean, some people are more okay with that or whatever, but I don't know, man. If I did everything just to make some money, man, I would already have done it. I mean, I got certain things, man, I guess, that obviously I don't do, but yeah, I mean, that's a struggle with that, man, because I mean, I'm gonna just say, like, as a man, you probably want to look into learn how to give massages, because that's kind of like, I'm gonna be honest, like, that's my it's kind of going into knowing how to seduce a woman. Like, that's a way you could do it. That's one of my ways. Like, man, the power of touch, man. A good massage. Woman, most women ain't gonna turn down a good massage, man. Like, you're just not gonna do that. And then you basically, like, that's a way of you kind of opening them up. Like, give them a good massage, you get comfortable. But honestly, to be honest, like, this is just no cap. Like, if you're already at the point you're giving a woman a massage, most likely y'all have already, you know, um, came to the point where y'all gonna be, having. Most of the time, when I was giving a woman a massage, right, we already, pretty much negotiated we was gonna have sex. That's just a way of doing foreplay. So I mean, it ain't like, but I mean, it is. You can kind of open, open that up to the point where you, like, say, if she didn't You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, you could kind of open it up a little bit more if she was on the, kind of on the fence. You know what I'm saying? So, massages, man, is, what I'm saying, that's a lot of people, man, don't understand the power of a power of touch. Power the massages, man. Just in general, man. You got most people got like because okay, it's kind of like these. Remember these women was talking about the soft life and shit. Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of times women, because they're so independent now and all of this stuff, the kind of the whole feminism culture. You know how feminism fucked everything. Well, actually, it's not even feminism. It's men. Men fucked everything up with wars. Okay, and feminism came in and everybody, all the women working, right? They're being working women, and work life is hard, right? So they have a hard life, and a lot of women, they don't get massages. Some women, they do go to spas and shit, but I don't know how many women. I don't know the percentage of women that go to get regular spa treatments and massages. I would say most women don't, especially women that have children, because a lot of women that have children don't have time. So the thing is that, yeah, massages, man, are important because it opens up the capillaries of the blood, the skin. It softens the skin. It softens the muscle tissue. A lot of both men and women have um just basically from working, from life, just you have like pent up tissue, just hardened tissue, and that hardened tissue makes blood flow, gives blood flow issues. It's a lot of issues related to that. I mean, that goes into like chakras, it goes into pressure points and all of that type of stuff. The Chinese, man, they know a lot about pressure points and different like nerve endings and all of that type of stuff. So they're pretty aware of that. You know what I'm saying? So when it come down to it, man, all you got to know is wherever you touch, if it's real hard, that's basically, basically a point where it's a lot of tension because really tissue is supposed to be soft. Wherever it's hard, that's like basically as far as like the neck and the shoulders, you know, back. If it's like hard, it means it's like it's got a lot of tension in it. You know what I'm saying? And you just work that shit out. That's literally all you got to do. Wherever it's like tough, just fucking start working on that shit. Start, what I'm saying? Use your hands and work that shit out, and then after a while, what I'm saying, they're gonna be like, God damn, I feel so fucking good. Like they're gonna associate you for you know what I'm saying? That's why all these songs, like back when my mother was like, younger and stuff, I was a kid, like Dr. Feel Good and um, what's the other song? Like, I don't know, stuff like that. But yeah, like literally like that's all you gotta do, like wherever is tension, which most women, again, they gon' most women are not living the soft life, so they got tension. So you just fucking work that shit out, man. They're going to associate you as a person. You're not just a regular person, you somebody that makes them feel good. And that's why women are attracted to men that are quote unquote good and bad, because they associate you for making them feel good. You and if you the best they ever been with, you're special. That's why women get like really emotional and addictive to meet to a certain guy, because that guy is the one that made them feel the best they ever felt before. Like you're that guy that made them feel the best they ever felt ever. Imagine that shit. Like that's, you know what I'm saying, they get addicted, they get emotional. And then a lot of times women like that, you wonder why they have a baby, cuz that dick was so fucking good they couldn't say no. They had to have it. they had to they had to have as much as they can, man. Like um it's like now I feel, I'm talking shit that I kind of feel I'm like spilling the beans, man. I done spilled too many secrets, man. And I feel like I need to put this shit on Patreon. I'm talking about feelings and shit. I'm not even I'm not even talking about thinking. I'm talking about feeling and shit. It's like I kind of think I need to put this shit on Patreon now. I'm spilling the secrets, man. Spilling my secrets, man, on how I deal with the modern woman in America and shit. But yeah, man, I you would have to get through what 2 hours to get to this point. So if you get to that point, then you probably okay, you know, dedicated listener. So I'll leave it. But yeah, man, it's just like that, man. But I don't really worry about that shit, man. Really, like honestly, um, things are just like kind of fucked up because it's a lot of pressure in America right now. It's a lot of pressure, and that pressure, it you could feel it. You know what I'm saying? And if you could feel it, you got to understand women are feeling that same pressure. And it's a lot of pressure. America's America's got a lot of pressure, man. Just on a worldwide stage or geopolitical stage, America has a lot of pressure right now. The economy, um, trying to deal with everything like low wages. They're starting to fire people and shit now. High cost of living. Um, like I said before, unequitable as far as wealth. You have the top 20 wealthiest people in America. They own like damn near half of the wealth. So you have a lot of consolidated wealth that few people have, right? And everybody else is like fighting over crumbs. Then you got people that's fighting over like micro. I call it, like I was talking to my uncle. I was like, people not even fighting over crumbs. Like crumbs is like a big deal, like millions of dollars. People are fighting over micro crumbs. Like they're fighting over crumbs that you can't even see, that you could barely see and shit. And it's like all that type of shit. And it's like, uh, yeah, it's really really competitive, and the thing that a lot of people don't understand, I mean, obviously, men, certain men, they don't have no problems or whatever, okay, good. But see, I'm older. See, I know how it was when the economy was good, when it was better times. A lot of times, honestly, when it's better times, women feel better. They think more positive. You know, the pussy comes. They willing to get a pussy up a lot easier during good times versus hard times. They don't feel they don't feel secure. Like Then a year, couple years ago, the city girl culture or whatever, sell that pussy girl, get some money girl, basically telling women to be hoes. I mean, whores, basically. So now, the whole OnlyFans revolution, all of this shit, man. OnlyFans city girl revolution. So the women, they got used to getting money from men because it's hard times, right? They need money. America, you know, struggling to give out. They're not, people really have it hard. Like, you got to understand, people working at Amazon right now, lifting boxes and shit, working at UPS, FedEx. And these are, a lot of, young and older people working there because it's like nobody's going to give you any fucking thing for the most part. Like, if they think, you got some idea, company, they might give you some money and they want a percentage of the company. But for the most part, on average, ain't nobody getting you shit. Okay. It's just, most of the people have to kind of really work hard for things. They have to really leverage things out. A lot of times people that got money, they make it look easy. But basically they just built, they built up momentum. That's how they got the money that they got. They saved it, they invested it more and more and more. They re-up, and then they just kept re-upping, and they built up this momentum, and it starts to look easy once you build up so much momentum. Uh the thing is that a lot of things was going on is like really, really difficult. Then you got these migrants and shit. You got a lot of poor people. You got a lot of people. You gotta understand. Like even news stories, even if like they stop talking about it, it's still, you gotta understand. Even if they stopped talking about it, it didn't mean that it went away. Remember, they were saying poverty was on the rise. You know, poverty was basically gaining, uh, a foothold on America. Basically, poverty is rising. Like, yeah, that it ain't like it got better. When did it get better? Who gave out some money to where, or where did somebody all of a sudden start making a whole bunch of money to where poverty made a turn? You know what I'm saying? It's still on the rise, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's still on the rise. So you gotta think about it, man. When shit is struggling, when a lot of people struggling financially and women start struggling, that's why you hearing this shit talking about, if you ain't paying for my daycare or a babysitter and all this other goofy shit, you can't take me out on a date. Everything is about money, and you can't do this and all that, because motherfucker, they know, like, you know what I'm saying? People are busted. For the average person is busted. So when a lot of people are busted, I mean, the thing is everything, they're looking at everything, as far as they need to be compensated. And then guys are like, man, fuck that shit. If I want to pay somebody, I'm gonna just get on a plane ticket, in a fucking foreign country. And it's like, yeah, that's what some people are doing, to the point where it's a fucking whole big ass trending movement. Like, I've been knew this shit. I knew that, like, basically you have a better odds of like getting on a plane going to another country. I knew that like 20 years ago. Like, damn, yeah, pretty much. Like, I knew that, yeah, you could say 15, let's say 15 years ago. I knew that was the best way. I was like, man, it's a whole fucking movement, man, like this before. That's where that song American Woman Stay Away From Me. Like, this shit is old. This shit is before fucking YouTube, for social media. Like that song was from Jimi Hendrix. Like, that was from the 70s. American Woman Stay Away From Me, and then Lenny Kravitz, he remade it. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? American women, like feminism, all that shit, anti-feminism songs or whatever. Man, this shit is old, man. It's way before fucking YouTube. This whole like, man, yeah, like that shit is old. And the thing is that I like how the conversations are going now. I have to admit, like the conversation seems like it's going towards kind of a finalization of, okay, we understand, men kind of understand, we understand where we at now. We understand, people still talking about whatever the fuck they talking about as far as when it comes to women, but I hear the conversation kind of going to kind of a finalization, it seems like, to where it's an understanding, and then of course it always loops back to to some other shit. But I mean, one of the things that I notice is that the conversation is going towards basically the women are, basically black women are who they are as far as historically. They are basically um primarily under white men. White men support them, predominantly support them. It's a lot of them, quite a few of them are financially supported, and also they, you know, engage in sexual interactions as well as have children with them. Um, and basically, as far as black men, we looked at as a threat because to a certain extent we still exist, you know um and primarily black women still deal with black men, and it's like, okay, we're still there. And they're, black women are used a lot of times as proxies to go against black men in many regards. Even politically, they vote differently, or they vote a certain way, and then basically a lot of black men vote the same way they do because basically they follow what black women. They, the black community in many regards is a matriarchy that black women basically are the head of, and that's whatever they say, what they want, black men kowtow to, and then that's it. Like, I mean, that's what generally is going on. And how I look at it is, like I said before, is that you have two types of women. You have women that kind of want to be submissive or already are submissive. And then you have women that will never want to be submissive, and they want you to really follow them. They want you basically to listen and follow them. You know, they run the show and be the matriarch and all of that. And a lot of them, and a lot of women in America are like that. They want you to listen to them. They have their own mind and they want you to follow what they say. They have a problem with what you say. And that's generally what's going on. I mean, some people find a balance of how to deal with that, or they okay with it or whatever. And generally speaking, that's how most women are programmed to be. And definitely black women, to kind of they don't really follow. It is some women that do follow what their follow what their man says and stuff like that. Like, here's the thing, this is what you guys pretty much missed, and nobody really talked about it from the vantage point of what I'm saying. A woman that is like what I'm talking about, and a lot of times men fuck these women up, right? Because I don't know, they just don't know how to manage that shit, whatever. But I basically what's that dude they always talk about his ass ah bodybuilder, the simp dude that please all of the chicks. Jason, I think it's Jason Black. I think um his wife or whatever. She would be what I would call a submissive woman. Like I mean, not all women are like that. Like most women, I would say, are not like that. That woman would have done anything he said, and she did. But he totally fucked that woman up. Like he made her get an abortion and all that shit. And I think why he was married to her. And it's like, it's like, and that happens. Like, it's good women or quote unquote good women or whatever that like just dudes got, but they totally like fumble the woman up, fuck the whole woman's life up or whatever, and it's like, it is women like that, and if it's men that have women like that, and they fine, they're have a healthy relationship. Of course, it's not just you know fuck ups or whatever that get with women like that, but most women like that, a lot of times they are married already or whatever. But it is women like that. But for the most part, and where it comes to where the complaints and the issues is that most women are not like that in America. Most women, I would say, for every woman that's like Jason Black's ex-wife or whatever, I would say probably maybe out of 10, maybe 2% or two women out of 10 are like that. And I would say like maybe like three or four women you can kind of like kind of put them in a position where they can be more submissive, or you can kind of mold them to be submissive. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like soften them up a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but most women, they're not they're not trying to be submissive. They're, argumentative and all of that. So like they'll pretend, some of them will pretend to be long enough to get you, to get sex, and then flip it after they, have sex with you and all of that. But it's like, yeah, most women are not submissive. Okay. And yeah, it goes into as far as black women. And that's why it goes into women of other ethnicities, because it's just more of them. And then, yeah, it's more women that probably are submissive because it's just more of them. It's more white women than there are of any other women in this country. So yeah, it's more white women that are submissive. Um, Hispanics tend to be more submissive. So okay, yeah, you get with a Hispanic woman, it's more of them also, and they coming over the border. Um, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just a supply and demand thing. If that's what you want, and ideally, that's kind of what you need. In as far as being a man, you need that, because you don't want to have to come home and you gotta, you just was battling at your job, at your office or whatever, and you gotta come home to a battle because your wife wants you to be submissive. That's a big problem. That's why a lot of men have a lot of stress. they want, have to smoke and drink and all kind of other shit because they're dealing with the situation that's out of balance with nature, and they know it. And the only reason why they're dealing with it is because you got men that they they just don't know how to deal with manipulation. Basically, it's behavioral manipulation because women like that, right? With me, like I'll have sex with them, but and they're gonna disrespect you. As soon as the disrespect occurs, it's like, okay, no, I don't want to have sex with you anymore. I don't want to be with you. I block the number and all that. But the thing is that most of the time, you pick up on it, and you don't even want to be bothered with women like that. And then it goes into, okay, you know, why not even try? And I understand that, and I get that. Why even try? And that's where people be like, okay, I'm just gonna fly the fuck on up out of here. Cause why even try? Why even bother? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get that, and that's where it's kind of the, you could say, in game thing or whatever, the in game. But I mean, the thing is that I'm not gonna say how you should do things and everything. And a lot of times, I'm gonna be honest, like you don't want to give your plays. You don't. Love and war is very similar. You don't want to give your strategy away. I don't believe in. I don't. I'll probably my friends, my personal friends. They know how I get down, but I wouldn't tell anybody. Definitely wouldn't tell nobody. What my strategies for both love or war. On the open. You know what I'm saying? Or even closed. Network or panel or whatever. It just certain things. I think should be personal to you, how you deal with whatever you deal with. You should, every man should live like a king, and a king, he shouldn't disclose his what he does with his life. Most kings are very quiet, what I'm saying, and they don't disclose their personal uh life like that, what I'm saying. So, oh, you said sorry. I was laughing at the mention of Jason Black's wife. Yeah, man. That's happened. It's guys that have mentioned on a panel, like, they had a good woman and they fucked them up. They fucked up a good woman. It was a dude I never forget. He was in California, in LA. He was on I think he was on BGS's panel, I think, or live stream. And he basically mentioned how he took a chick that was college educated, and he basically turned her into, basically, a like downgraded her life. He manipulated her, or basically influenced her to a point where she was just basically collecting welfare. This was a college educated woman, came from a two-parent household, just basically made her a baby mama that lived in the hood, and moved her in the hood. Yeah, I mean, dudes do fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I probably don't talk about it much, but yeah, dudes definitely fuck up women. I mean, you can even say I've done that. I've definitely fumbled women. When I was younger, I definitely did. I was dumb as fuck when I was young. I ain't even know how to deal with women really like that. Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing, but just having sex. I mean, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was definitely probably responsible if I got a woman pregnant, but you know, the thing is like, as far as like picking women and recognizing one over the other and all of that, I didn't even care. I was just trying to have sex. I didn't even give a fuck about good woman, bad woman, none of that. Like I just did. My thing was I was just trying to have a good time. You know, it wasn't no okay. I gotta choose her. She's good and all of that. Like it's you know I don't know. I mean, it's like it's kind of like you know a situation where you had like a whole bunch of water and then water becomes scarce and you like damn I had damn. Like all these women you start thinking about, like, damn, you know. And it's like, you know, obviously these women, some of them probably got, you know, kids, some of them probably, a lot of them are married, you know, and it's like, damn, you know. But yeah, a lot of dudes fuck up they woman, man. Happens every day, man. I met man, I met some crazy motherfuckers, man. I mean, and it's like, yeah, dudes fuck up women like every man. It it's crazy, man. This dude, well, I don't know. My one of my exes told me or whatever, like this one dude, he was married and he ended up having to get divorced. He had to divorce and go back home or something. He was fucking around, you know. He got herpes, and he gave his wife herpes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, cause see, the thing is, if you're gonna be fucking around, man, you got a motherfucking, you gotta, you know, you gotta have some layer of control. Like, you can't like you know what I'm saying? The thing is that the women, even a woman, she'd probably be okay with that. You know, they'd be like, okay, as long as you don't have no babies and all that. I wouldn't concern myself with that, but you can't be bringing your wife fucking STDs, man. You know, and to be honest, STD is so certain STDs are you better off having a baby than a fucking STD. You know, like you're better off with the baby than a fucking STD. Depending on what it is, but it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to bring your fucking wife any STDs, any of them, not a one. And it's like, you know, that comes from just not having any fucking dick control. I never forget. I was working in UPS and it was one of my supervisors. It didn't require much to be a supervisor, but like um he was a supervisor, whatever. And I never forget what he said. He said something in regards of him not having an STD or something or ever or whatever. He said it's like I like my dick. I'm not about to stick my dick in no bitch and she gotta, risk getting an STD or whatever. And it's like that, that made sense. Like that was like something that, it's like who says that? Like you probably don't hear nobody say, no, I like my dick. I'm not trying to get no STD. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you really, you know what I'm saying, like really value yourself, you're not trying to go out there and risk it. Cause see how you risk it is you just go fuck without a condom. You take the bitch's benefit of the doubt that she ain't got no disease and you just go fuck. And it's not what you gotta put a condom on. It's not because you just want to. Um, you know, you got to, because and let you really, before you fuck a bitch, you supposed to have a test. I mean, nowadays, because it's so crazy, every motherfucking woman you have to fucking screen. You have to do a health screen. If you're gonna be going raw, it's like even porn stars, to be honest, like, so like, in case you didn't know, like Miami, LA, yeah, Vegas, they have places because they do so much porn and shit. Like they have places where they go do a same day STD screening. And these are porn stars. And they fucking all kind of different people, right? And they do a STD test that same day. And they go, they get the results, I think, the same day or something like that. And that's what they do. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, if porn stars can do that shit, you should be able to do that shit as a man. Especially if you going to fuck, you be fucking every, fucking different bitches and you're married, or even if you have a girlfriend, or even just period. Because if you're fucking, you got a whole bunch of bitches you fucking. So you just, that's part of. I mean, if you out there like that, you got to make sure. There's a lot of things involved with that. You got to know who you fucking. If your main woman, you got to understand if she's fucking somebody else. You got to know the signs if a woman is having sex with somebody else and all of that. And if she's having sex with somebody else, then you got a problem. Because she ain't gonna get tested and all that. So you gotta be on, yeah, like you gotta understand, like you gotta do, and this comes at an early age. This comes by the time you're a teenager. You gotta control your urges. You can't be so weak for a bitch that you just gonna want to fuck her because you want some pussy so bad. Like I never forget, I had to walk away from a hoe. A broad. She was fine. She was like a 8. She was like fucking fine. She was one of the finest women I ever been with in my life. One of them. And I had to let her go. I literally had to let her go because she was a hoe. She was she just was she was just with a lot of different dudes. I think she liked me. I mean, I definitely liked her, but you can't turn no hoe into no housewife. You just can't. I mean, you can't do that. It's not, you know, you can't satisfy a bitch that it ain't enough dick you can give her to not her to not to, for her to not want to fuck somebody else. Like women naturally, I do think want to fuck somebody else, but it's women that they get. It's like they have a higher sex drive and they have a more of a compulsion to fuck other dudes because that's just what they used to for whatever reason. It's like I look at them like a light switch. They always on. You got chicks that they only get turned on. They might only get turned on by their guy, the guy that they with, or they programmed to just be with their guy. And then the guy that they want, that's all they really want. They want that guy. They can't think of nothing but that guy that they're with. They get wet for that guy. They might like other dudes, but the guy that they with, that's who they want to be with. That's who they want their kids to be with in the next year or so. Like, it's like even women like that, like they can, you know what I'm saying, they could flip on you. Um, it's a lot of stuff can be involved with that, but it's like when a woman is she's just kind of like she's you know her history and shit. She's with other dudes. She getting trains. She basically a hood rat. When you with a hood rat, I mean, that's what I did a video on rats, the mating habits of a rat. Like you know what I'm saying? You can't as far as any long-term stability, like with a hood rat, it's not it, it's for long short pumps and then you're done. Like it ain't no we about to have a family and live happily ever after. No, like somebody else is gonna be living happily ever after with you. And if that's what you cool with, like some guys they cool with that. I see every now and again I see a photo of a dude of two dudes with one chick. Basically they are in what do they say, poly, what do they call it, my brain is like beyond foggy. Polynomial or polyamory. Yeah, polyamory or yeah. And it's hard to say that shit. And I should, because I don't. It's just not in my vocabulary. But polyamory or whatever the fuck. Um, two dudes, one chick, basically. Closed triad. Closed triad with two dudes and a fucking chick. And it's like, yeah, some dudes is cool with that. They okay with that. You know, they cool, That's what they do. Now how they work that out, I don't know. But the thing is that I mean, I had to walk away. I had to walk away from a fine ass hood rat. And I did it. And it was like, that was that. I mean, most people probably would have probably been like, my precious, I want to be with you forever and ever. And then you come home, or shit, you come back to your dorm room and she got another dude, you know, she getting split fired. And that's your chick. That's who you claimed. And it's like, what I'm saying? It's like you gotta learn that at an early age. If you don't get that shit by the time you probably in your early 20s or late teens, you probably gonna be a late term simp. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you'll ever get it. You got some guys that can't get women too, and then they look at women like again, they look at women like being finite. Like it's only so many women I could get because I can't get women. So I gotta hoard this one chick that I know ain't shit, but I can't really get no other women. That's what they think in their head. And it might be true because, whatever you think, that's what it is. Like, I can't get no, I can't, I have a hard time getting women. So I gotta keep this bitch that keeps cussing me out and, you know, throwing shit at me and then cheating on me. I gotta keep her because I can't get no other women or whatever the fuck. Or I'm fucked up in the game or whatever and then they just deal with it. I don't know. I mean, a lot of dudes like that are silent, or they might tell you, and you like, damn, you putting up with all of that? God damn. But then, yeah, you got men that, you know, they fucked up. They, giving their wife STDs, telling their wife to have an abortion and shit, all kind of crazy ass shit. I'm not against a man having more than one woman. I'm not against that. But when you doing shit like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you, to me, this is how I operate. Like, if you gonna have a relationship like that, you should take whatever you know, pretty much what's gonna come. That means both of the women you with, they're gonna get probably pregnant. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, they're gonna probably get pregnant. And I don't look at children like probably other people look at children. Like, I don't, that just me personally. I don't have my viewpoint of children as something that you need to abort. Let's just say that. I don't look at children like that. I don't look at I don't look at babies as something that you have to abort, you know, or need to abort. If I was fearful of fucking babies, I wouldn't be having sex like that. That's what I mean. I would be, you know, trying to pull out or uh using condoms, um making sure the woman I'm with got birth control or all that type of shit. Like, I mean, and I don't operate like that, but if I was, that's what I'd be on. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, guys, that's what they, I guess, because of the commitment and the financial commitment. I don't know. But to me, that's some beta male shit. That's like lower tiered male type shit to me personally. I don't tell these men that. I let them talk, you know, but in the back of my head, I know that's not alpha at all. You know, it's definitely not alpha. But you know, that's another conversation for another day. But you know, the thing is that yeah, dudes be fucking up women every fucking day, man. And then a lot of times, them women become jaded, confused, delusional. I mean, go get with other women. You know, it's like what the fuck, you know. But I mean, what can you say? You know, I mean, you know, it is what it is. That woman dealt with that. At the end of the day, she dealt with that shit. She listened to, you know, a woman even if she's submissive, she'll follow you to hell. She'll follow you straight to hell. That's the, you know, thing about a submissive woman. She can get with the wrong guy and go straight to hell with that guy. And you know, that's just, you know, the thing. But um the thing is that that's where fathers come in to a certain extent to kind of gauge the man to see what he's about. Because not saying that the dude still couldn't, you know, do that, but a lot of times women fathers step in and also pick the men to you're not about to take my woman and fucking, you know, my you know, girl, my daughter, and take her to hell with you. You know, you're not about to do that. And you know, depending on the father, to what extreme that, you know, he would, you know, be involved to, you know, deal with that situation. But yeah, that's where fathers came in and, you know, stepped in. It was like, you know, you're not about to take my fucking daughter. You know, if the daughter had a, you know, situation where um she had a relationship with her father, she would tell the father. But you got some women that they don't even let their father know. Like, she looked like she probably, I don't know, I had to watch the interview, but I don't know if she had a father in her life or not. But the thing is that you got some women that they do have a father, and they won't even tell their father because they're embarrassed. And you got to understand, like, you know, trust and believe. I know about you know, I know about, you know what I'm saying, sex and the umpteenth power when it comes to sex. I understand I understand how women are when it comes to sex, to being dominated, and especially if you understand, like if you get with a woman that is a virgin or hasn't been with that many men, or even might have only been with one man. um those women, I mean, like, shit, I mean, what the fuck, like, I mean, they're easily able to be dominated. Okay, and what I mean by dominated is that they don't want anybody else. They want you. If you're dominating them, if you are the man that they that has dominion, let's just say have dominion over them sexually, they're addicted to the point where they don't want anybody else. They're not going to listen to their father, mother, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, grandma. And then I'm going into Alexis K. Tyler, and I'm talking about, penis power and all of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, going into, shit I talk about on Patreon. But basically, man, it could be you a dick could be used for good when it comes to women, or it could be used for bad. You could dominate a woman, and she be your wife. She be submissive. She cook, clean for you, take care of you, um, provide you children, you know, all of that, right? And you can motherfucking go fuck a bitch, and have her bring you back money. I mean, it could, you can have her do all kind of shit. I mean, both positive and negative. You can use you can use your sexual prowess for good or bad, or whatever. It's like, yeah, obviously, it's a lot of men that use their sexual power or prowess for bad and also good. Okay, so that's the thing. But it's not, the whole thing is, it's just not that many submissive women out there. Can you make a woman be more submissive? Can you make a woman wear a dress? I did it last month. Okay. Yes. You could tell, okay, yeah, wear a dress next time. And then the next time they're wearing a dress. Okay, yeah, it's not difficult. But the thing is that it's a lot of things, other things involved with that. Is certain limits and certain things. Honestly, to be honest, perfectly honest, a lot of it also is how women eat. Like, when women eat meat, you become aggressive when you eat a lot of meat. A lot of times, um, if women if you really, like, to be honest, like, a woman stopped eating meat and became, like, let's just say, vegan, yeah, she's going to be less aggressive. And what I'm saying is this, this if you were to try to do that, that would be one of the things that you would have to do. She would have to stop eating meat. So now I'm, just giving all kind of shit away, and I'm about to get on up out. I'm about to hop on off here. You say, don't forget, you can still get STDs with condoms on. You know what? I heard that since I was, like, in high school, right? You can get STDs with condoms on. And I'll just tell you this, right? As a guy that I've been fucking since I was, what, 16, off and on, in my 40s now. I have never gotten an STD from while I was wearing a condom. And I've heard that since I was, like, yeah, about a teenager, my late teens. I heard that, right? but I have never gotten a chick pregnant or um an STD from wearing a condom. Okay, that's just me personally, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, that's what condoms are designed for. To not get STDs and to not to catch, to basically, some condoms have a spermicide in them, like chemicals to like kill or like stop the sperm from being motive. Okay, some type of fluid in it, but yeah, like that's what they're designed for. Now, is there holes? Do women put holes in condoms and shit like that? Yeah, and give them to you? Yes, they do. Is it a possibility? You gotta. I mean, I've taken condoms from women, but the thing is most of the time you gonna have your own condoms. Okay, there's you go to a health clinic and they give you a bag of condoms. You know, um, you get for free. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't. I would not use a condom and just be like, oh, because this guy, you can still get an SCD if you got it on. Well, no, like I've never, I've never, and I've not done research on this, but got no STD. Definitely ain't got no chick pregnant when I was wearing a condom. Okay, like a condom. So yeah, I mean, I've heard that. Like I said, I heard that it seems like only way I can say for sure if a woman probably gave you a condom or if you yourself have a condom that is in your pocket and it's got holes in it because you had some thumbtacks in your pocket and you were like fucking, I don't know, break dancing or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like other than that, like condoms are designed to fucking stop shit. It's rubber, plastic, rubber.